Hey everyone, and welcome back to more Pathfinder Kingmaker videos. We ended our last video after defending Oleg's trading post from those guys. Yep. The Stag Lord's bandits. And yeah, Oleg and what's the other name? Boken survived. I don't know if they can die, but yeah. And now we're about to go and get some rest. Oh. Potatoes, onions, cheese, vegetables, soft cheese. Okay, we're getting all sorts of cooking ingredients. Svetlana 11. I'm glad it's all over, even if though there was a fight. We'll talk tomorrow once I've finished work. Okay. Go upstairs.
Anything else?
Silver spoon. The right brooch, golden statuette, golden trinket, scroll of Bane. It's red, maybe because I can't use it. Oh, cat. But I think there should be pets in this game, just like the Pillars of Eternity. Guide for Travelers, Hunters, and Explorers of the River Kingdom, Volume 5, Monsters and Beasts. Will-o'-the-Wisp, sorry. An amusing glowing ball which looks harmless and doesn't arouse any natural suspicion. Pretending to be a guiding light in the marches, but leads travelers to certain death. The agonized fear of their victims is this monster's nourishing dinner. Sorry. If you manage to resist their trick, make sure you have some electrical protection. The monster electrocutes any visitors it fails to lure into terror. Okay. I wonder, is this real advice? Like, I'm gonna run into Will-o'-Wisp and it's going to electrocute me? We'll find out. Werewolves. Werewolves prefer to hunt in groups and attack lone travelers. It's entirely possible that a Varisian camp or troop could turn into a pack of bloodthirsty lycanthropes under cover of the darkness. Ordinary weapons stand little chance against them, but a silver blade greatly increases your chance of survival. So there is a difference between normal and silver weapons, obviously. Primals, powerful creatures of the primal realm. Occasionally visit this world for amusements. It's best to stay out of Primal's way. Don't fight it. It's extremely dangerous, but if a life is at stake, resort to cold steel. Okay. Hopefully we don't run into them, but oh my god, we will. Potion of Vanish. The touched creature becomes invisible for a short time. It's a check. If a check is required, an invisible creature has a +20 bonus on its stealth check. The spell ends if the subject attacks any creature. Okay, so I can use this for not only fight but check events if it requires stealth. Silver disc, silver ring, Scroll of Ray of Enfeeblement. Why is it down there? I can't read it. Okay, I'll read it another day. Expert's Hat. This hat grants its wearer a +1 incompetence bonus on all skill checks. Okay. Mesmerizing Necklace. This amulet increased by 1 the DC of all enhancements, cool spells cast by the wearer. It also grants the ability to cast color spray. DC 13. Spells color spray spell 3 times a day as a level 1 wizard. We don't have any wizard. Oh. Head Chomper. Owlcat's feral instinct provides +2 moral bonuses on perception and lore nature checks. So there is pets. Yes. Ember. Summon pet red panda. What's this? A pet owlcat. A pet cat. Yes. You acquire. Oh, just about. Blessed Signet. This signet grants its wearer the ability to cast Bless spell as a first level cleric three times a day. Good. We don't have a cleric or a wizard, but Lindsay is the closest thing to a spellcaster. Collect all. Let's try them. Come on. Please. Oh. I'm gonna try this one. What's the difference? 2 more bonus from perception and lore knowledge. And the cat on perception, same. Red panda. Emotional support provides more bonus on saving throws. Let me try this one. The cat for now. I'm gonna give Lindsay the hat, the necklace. Is this a school spell? Okay. This spell grants its wearer +2 enhancement bonus on Constitution. Okay, it's either Valerie or. Okay, we got 14 with him, 16 with Amiri, 19 with Valerie. Hadrian, you're getting a belt. Congratulations. Now it's 16 plus 2, great. Okay. Signet ring. Bless, okay. Lindsay, please tell me you can use it. Yeah. Now. Oh. Raise her from your hand, you must succeed with range dodge attacks, strike at lower, the subject takes the penalty of strength, okay. It weakens enemies straight away. We have to sell some stuff. Now what? Oh, we'll just rest. You wake up from a nasty dream that tortured you almost all night long. In it you saw a wall of unnaturally thick fog that surrounded you, slowly moving closer and closer. A quick look out of the window and you find out that the fog was not a figment of your imagination, not a dream, and then
hear me. Please hear me.
Guardian of
Can
the
you
Bloom.
hear me?
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Guardian of the Bloom. The half-transparent outline a beautiful nymph appears before you. Even in this ghostly form, it's clear that she's exhausted. Her shoulders are slouched, and her large blue eyes burn within her pale face. Her voice is barely more than a whisper as she reaches towards you. Who are you?
Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself. The bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. A defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
I'm glad my adventure begins with such a beautiful sight. Really? What do you want from me? Be gone now. What do you want from me?
Aid, salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord. As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. My forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
The Stag Lord is responsible for the fog? Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
It hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds. But while responsible, he did not create this affliction. It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him.
So, the Stag Lord is not just a random bandit lord, or a normal bandit lord, should I say. He's too damn powerful. Like a magical slug and powers that even a guardian, I don't know what her power limits are, but come on, no bandit can do that. How can I help?
This fog, it enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. But my powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you. All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power. The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford. Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy.
Okay. So that escalated quickly. We didn't know that the Stag Lord has... I should, like, right now I'm more concerned about the druid than the Stag Lord himself. I'm glad my adventure begins with such a beautiful sight. Okay, let's just throw it in.
Beauty is so tender. It can so easily be crushed under the blows of cruel fate. But you can save it from being undone.
Sparks light up and fade in the nymph's eyes, huge eyes. Alright, I understand. Very well.
I don't believe in fate, stranger. But our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
What? Coincidence? You sought me out. You woke me from a dream. And you called to me for help. And you called it coincidence. Okay. The nymph's whisper fade as she disappeared. Safe location. There are no threats in this location. It is a sort of a headquarters where you can prepare your party for a new expedition. In such locations, companions do not follow you around and will go about their own businesses. You can speak with them freely to get to know them better. Once you exit this location and return to the global map, you will be able to choose the companions you wish to take with you, leaving the others here. Whenever you meet a new companion but don't want to include them in your party right away, the companion will travel to this location on their own. Good. But is this the only safe haven, headquarter, whatever it is? Like, is this the... Okay. We know this game is based on kingdom building. So is this like the headquarter? Really? I didn't expect Oleg's trading post to be the headquarter of our kingdom. But maybe not, maybe it's just temporary. Okay. Where is my pet? Didn't I equip one? Oh, I put it on value, sorry. Take off. Equip. How do I? It's grayed out, maybe I can't use it here. Okay. Lindsay. Lindsay, a halfling girl with tousled hair. Why are you telling this? We know who Lindsay is. Wearing a dusty traveler outfit, sits chewing the tip of her quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbled something quickly in a notebook scrawled with verse, raised her eyes and give you a bright smile. Oh, hi. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over. I was actually born in Galt. Galt, a nation of free thinkers and radical renowned for brilliant poets. A nation of free thinkers and radicals, renowned for brilliant poets, artists, and philosophers whose ideas shaped the politics of the whole of Avestan. Galt was once a vassal nation of Shelyans. I'm saying right now, I'm gonna butcher every name in this game. No shame, huh? Where was I? After the death of Aroden and the rise of the House Throne in Shelia, the people of Gal decided to throw off their foreign rulers along with their own nobles who had colluded with them. The executions did not end the bloodshed within 5 years, the severed heads of the ministers of the first government rolled down the steps of the guillotine. In the 40 years since, over a dozen governments have ruled Galt, rising and fallen like the waves of a stormy sea. Okay, in such a tiny... I'm from all over. I was actually born in Galt, in such a tiny village that it's not even on the map. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be lying there, milking goats, weeding turnips, swelling homebrew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. Who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the chapel, in the capital at the church of Shaylin. Shaylin, also known as the Eternal Rose, the Eternal Maiden, and the Incorruptible, is the goddess of art, beauty, love, and music, and the half-sister of Zongkothon. Shaylin focuses just as much attention on eternal beauty as external, as aspects of her role as goddess of beauty. Shaylin also promotes the creation of art and the composing and performing of music. Lyrics of Shaylin frequently are artists themselves. As the goddess of love, Shaylin encourages the pure prolification of that feeling in all its forms. She is not the goddess of sexuality, lust, and fertility, and makes a very clear distinction between love and sexuality. Although she does not in any way discourage erotic love, the few paladins who worship her practice courtly love. Okay. But he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most god-forsaken, priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas into our children's heads. It'll only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and he gave me books. Poems legends. He was the one who told me about the Archknight of Avestan. Avestan is the continent on the world of Golarion, once the most heavily settled area on the planet. Avestan possesses as many varied cultures and environments as any other continent in the world, and an ancient history stretches back tens of thousands of years. Reverie, the River Kingdom, Numeria, and the Stolen Lands are also situated on Avestan. Okay, so it's the continent where we are at. Okay. And when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave me a magic ring so that Shaylin would protect me from harm. Okay. I haven't seen him since. I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. I asked Shaylin every day to grant him a long life and new students. Archknights of Avestan, who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a hero without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, I won't spoil anything. Really, just tell me. You should just read about them yourself. Every single chapter, their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me, here I am on a heroic quest. Well, good for you. How did you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish bitches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened across our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere to Brevoy. Brevoy is a relatively young nation, having only existed since 4499 AR. The history of Brevoy before this time is the history of two often warring nations, Asia and Rostland. The coming of Gorl the Conqueror changed all this. After securing the defeat and surrender of the two nations, Gorl christened his family house Rogarvia. Its rule ended with the mysterious disappearance of every member of House Rogarvia in 4699 AR, leaving Brevoy in a precarious political position. Okay. We traveled to Brevoy and Taldor. The mighty empire of Taldor once stretched from the Arcadian Ocean to the borders of the Padishah Empire of Kalesh. Arodin himself was said to to walk among the people of Taldor and his religion a shining beacon onto the world, radiant outward from Taldor's gilded capital of Opara. Taldor's ancient armies of exploration established footholds for the empire throughout Golarion, and its mighty phalanxes marched for thousands of miles during the Shining Crusade to beat back the Whispering Tyrant. Now Taldor is a stunted remnant of its old glory, having lost control of the Daughter territories, and it's almost ignored by powerful countries of today, which assumed it will continue its slow decline for at least another century. Okay, and even Ustalav, the immortal principle of Ustalav, is a fog-shrouded nation of countless horrors, and once proud realm that suffered under the clawed hands of the Whispering Tyrant for centuries. Okay, and then I found out about the Academy of Grand Art. While not as popular as some of the great bardic schools in the Inner Sea, Pitax's Academy of Grand Art still manages to attract some students seeking great specialization. In Pitax is long a haven of thieves and smugglers. Pitax is a hub for trade in the River Kingdom. Aspires to be a center of culture and higher learning as well, but cannot escape its more unsavory origins. And I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can sure learn how to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me. Really? They just enroll you, they just enlist you, give you a scholarship, and just expel you. Hahaha, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now, with Shaylin's help, I can manage on my own. Well, good for you, girl. Do you worship Shaylin? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she is the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the Eternal Rose, okay, it's Shaylin, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. Why? Stop stuttering. Why are your clothes so messy? Forget it, I can't waste money on loots. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my work, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. True. Very true. Let me ask you about something else. You came from Pitax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Pitax, even though they kicked me out, a joyful place. What's life in Pitax like? Actually, Pitax has always been one huge nest of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been home for the likes of them, but that was before Irovetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti, isn't that the king that Tartuccio accused us of working for? When at Jumandi Aldori's court, he said, like, I work for Irovetti, I'm a spy, or something. Irovetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified throughout the centuries as a great patron of the art, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Pitax was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. What do you know about King Iroveti? He won his crown in a game of cards. Really? That's how you become a king? Okay. Which says as much about Pitax as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told me that from the moment he appeared, he started pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Pitax, and also he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Okay. Getting drunk with whores at the hub, that's not Lord Irveti's style. Oh no, he aims higher. Dressing up like a male Calistria, also known as the Severed Thing, and the unquestionable fire, is the goddess of lust and revenge, who takes on many faces and guises. She is held in especially high regard by elves, who often identify her with her mercurial moods, unchangeable nature, a fondness for wasps has earned this vengeful deity the title of the Severed Sting. Such creatures live on after harming their enemies, a trait Calistria's followers hope to emulate when pursuing her goals. Okay. With a golden codpiece and holding a 3-week orgy with dancing on rooftops, parades, public executions, and the contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. He also likes singing. Oh, and he orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Shaylin have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the academy you studied at. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful to your Betty for building it. But he has no taste at all, whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying his Royal Highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artists because he didn't wish to spend money on great scribbles. He sacked a musician. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tianjin for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me, and for what? For an innocent limerick? Would you like to go back to the academy and finish your studies? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they throw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now and return all the ones they banished. If you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Irveti's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. Okay. Let me ask you about something else. Tell me about the book you're writing. What's there to tell? You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your adventure. I'm writing the whole truth, just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth, you know. No glory, no story. What are you writing? Why are you writing it? What's the point? When I was at the academy, Eobold, the insightful, began his lecture course with the question, what's a person? And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things, all these woods, seas, and cities. It consists of stories about these things. The stories we tell ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone. What subjects? Is this conversation supposed to happen after I establish my kingdom or something? Okay, all your subjects will be long gone, but you and I will live on in people's memories and influence their deeds. Thanks to this very book. No offense, but your... Is this like an insult or something? No. No offense, but your command of language is not that good. The truth doesn't hurt me. Who do you think my most severe critic is? That's right, it's me. This is my first real book, and I have much yet to learn. But don't you worry, I will do your feats justice. And if I put my foot in my mouth here and there, then we can print a second edition, revised and corrected. Your book is full of inconsistencies. Well, yes, I can admit that. Sometimes one has to bend a few details for the sake of dramatic effect. It's called poetic truth. I write about everything as if I saw it with my own eyes, even parts of the adventure that I wasn't around for. But I do always carefully question everyone who was with you at the time. Think of it as a general picture. In the end, you're the hero of this book, and I am just a storyteller. So what kind of a character I am? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor. I am protector of the weak and poor. But what about in real life? But you eased all my fears with 2 shakes of a tail. Thank God. You're a true hero, just like in the legends. My new fear is that in 100 years, my readers will say that people like you never existed, but I'm writing the truth. You have an iron core. Sorry. You have an iron core. No matter what tricks fate throws in your path, you always know what's right and what's wrong. Some might say that's boring, but others will learn from you, from your strong character. How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. I will not ask. Oh, as a lawful good character, I will always go with lawful good alignment options. As long as you write the truth, I have no objection. I swear, Lindsay puts her little hand over her heart. Truth, only truth, and just a teensy bit of imaginative exaggeration. Of course, you can't just stick to the truth, I knew it. Let me ask about something else. Of course, please ask. I'd be happy to chat all day. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. Is that the peddler she went with? What's there to say? The book walked my earth to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later, when I told her I was staying in Pitax, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. What's the deal with the ring you always wear on your finger? Ah, this? Lindsay holds her arm on for you to get a clear view of the ring. It was a gift to me from my first teacher. It's magical, imbued by the power of Shayla, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. Let's hope that's true in fights. So please don't be angry with me. If I suddenly disappeared from a fight, I will wait for you here. I'll wait for you here, promise. So it is, right? So actually she can use that ring, which I haven't seen in her inventory. So she can use this ring to transport herself here to the safe place, I think. Okay, leave and do not return. I don't want to see. I don't want to even see you. Wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. This should not be an option. Why is it here? No, I have to go. Just don't leave without me. Of course, I could just write whatever you tell me, but if I wanted to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd still be sleeping through lectures at the academy. Don't worry, I won't leave you. Okay. Let's talk to... who are you? Anoriel 8 Eyes. The elf looked straight at you through the tangled hair falling over her face. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking your fortune in the stolen lands? You aren't the only one of your kind here. Take my advice. Keep your eyes open and watch your back. Sometimes the ones who call themselves your friends are more dangerous than your enemies. Judging by the elf's voice, it's obvious that she started the day with a jug of wine. Okay, so she's drunk. Who are you? The elf grunts. Anoriel 8 Eyes. Once upon a time, I was famous throughout Absalom. For more than 4,000 years, Absalom has been the city at the center of the world. A metropolis-sized showcase of the greatest treasures in all Golarion. The city not only holds a key strategic position for both commercial and military endeavors in the region, but encompasses the site of the ascension of four deities, and claimed to have been founded by none other than the last Aslanti, the god Arodin. Okay. Anoriel 8 Eyes of the Reckless 6. Well, glory passes quickly. A few miserable decades later. So, assuming because she's an elf, she lived long. Okay. A few miserable decades later, and no one recognizes you on the street anymore. What a shame. What are you doing here? I sit here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. We may be sitting here in a backwoods tavern, but in Absalom I have a lot of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts but shallow pockets. A little gold would be a welcome change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Absalom through a portal. If you're interested, just give me a sign and we'll arrange everything right away. So wait, I can hire mercenaries. Is this what she's saying? I need a loyal and experienced fighter, yeah. I have friends like that. Just decide who exactly you need and they will come on my signal. This will cost you 2,000 gold pieces. Damn. Nope. I don't even have the cash. I don't have enough money right now. Why are you called 8 Eyes? Once long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once. Though it seems I've outlived my nickname. Anoriel stretches her arm forward. Her palms tremble noticeably. I've been drinking so much lately, it's best I don't test my skills too often. Yeah, or just get off the drink. Where were you when the trading post was attacked exactly? I haven't seen her. I was hunting, got a little lost in the mist, which is the first time that happened to me. I guess I should go easier on the drink. I think you should. But don't you imagine I'd be scared of a good fight? If only I'd known what I was missing. If only I'd known I was missing all the action. But I see you've got everything under control. Of course I will. Would you like to join me? Say yes, please. Oh no, I've got enough things to do already. You'd better manage on your own. A famous Pathfinder here in the middle of nowhere, why? You want to know how one could exchange the life of Pathfinder for this sorry drunken rat hole? The light in Honoriel's eyes goes out, as if someone had blown out a candle. You lose all your friends because of one scumbag. And then you will understand. I was the only one to return from the final campaign of the Reckless Six, and whatever is left of me can't be called a seeker anymore. Honoriel remained silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wished to poke the old wound. Here's the story. Our leader, Vermelt, was the best of us. Wise, brave, friends with everyone. One of those friends, Adresian, I'm gonna butcher every name, sent him a disturbing letter. He claimed he'd stumbled, upon mentions of some ancient kind of magic. What? He stumbled upon mentions of some ancient books on the art of necromancy. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me, I've seen what that kind of magic can do. The elf bits her lip. To make a long story short, those volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided that the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the Society. Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a globe-spinning organization based on Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Golarion, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and otherwise experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals documenting their travels back to their venture captains, who also assign them new missions and suggest new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collects the history and misery of Golarion for its membership and the general public. Okay. We gathered in a tavern to discuss the expedition, then proceeded to Ustalav. It was a normal mission, a quick and quiet recovery. Honoriel smiles bitterly. But everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witch Gate forest, all those terrible living trees, undead druids, and their arches of bones. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. Sorry. We chosen Brent Church to stop at. It was marked on Vermel's map as a safe enough haven to hole up in and lick our wounds. How I wish that had been true. Vermal was first to perish. He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him about like a feather and threw him down an ancient well. His shout echoes for a long time, and I didn't hear the sound of him landing. And then Honoriel pauses and turns away, hiding her eyes. Enough, I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up others' feelings with all my chatter? We'd better forget about it for now. Maybe I'll tell you more some other time, but not today. Please, just tell me. Okay, so this is a progressive story. Like every time visit or something. The story just updates, I think. That's what it's all about. So I think all the companions too have that. Their story will update as the story progresses, and we just share the stories here in safe places, I think. Okay, moving on. I want to know more about Pathfinder Society. What exactly are you interested in? What's the purpose of the society? It's a school of adventures. We search for those who are eager to test their skills, and we educate them and give them ideas about where in Golarion, the planet Golarion orbits a yellow sun in the far reach of the material plane, third of 11 in orbit. This blue planet contains vast oceans and lush green lands, and it's the perfect environment for countless cultures. Indeed, Golarion is the most populated planet in its solar system. Can I travel to other planets or something? Okay. It's an intensely hospitable and life-sustaining environment, and presumably is the work of the gods. So astronomers sometimes refer to Golarion as the child. Astronomers of other planets, however, often refer to Golarion as the cage, in reference to its cosmic role as the prison of the mad god Rovogog, who lies bound at the world's core. Okay. They might seek their fortune. They look for forgotten knowledge, secrets, and lost artifacts. They are explorers and pathfinders. We are sort of mutual assistance club for adventurers lovers. We exchange experience, share knowledge, and keep careful records in case it proved useful to future expeditions. And also we publish books for thrill seekers and bored urban teenagers from wealthy families. What kind of membership does the society have? All sorts of adventures. We have representatives from all races, religions, and beliefs. The Grand Lodge in Absalom. What? The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, sorry. But there are many smaller lodges throughout Golarion, and the venture captains direct pathfinders to their goals from across all the corners of the world. There are many renowned heroes in the society, and many scoundrels as well, whose service to the society has brought them fame. Who does the society support? You mean who does it serve? No one in particular. Pathfinders try not to get involved in the quarrels of others. They serve only the spirits of adventure, and sometimes they happen to save the world. However, that doesn't mean there are no black sheep among the seekers, naturally. We'll talk about this later. Regarding your stories, remind me what happened in Richmond. The elf shakes her head. I have no wish to fill your sleep with nightmares. When you prove you can stand firm in battle, that you can achieve victory without losing yourself along the way, then I'll tell you of the horrors that waited us in Ronchester. Okay, we'll talk about something else. I have to go. I'll end this video right here because I have something to do right now, so sorry. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy.